Okay, Mr. Wagner, good morning. This is Project Eco House, and we're going to walk through the location, the building, and the ways that we can construct this house and what makes it so appealing. So let's get to it. Welcome to our company. I'm your agent, Shiv Patel, and our company is a advanced technology corporation that builds eco-friendly houses. Our houses are cost-effective, unique for each owner, and utilize the full capabilities of the entire region in which they are built. The location that we have chosen is Southwest Virginia in the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is also where I reside. They have large forests and mountains. It's very scenic. There are beautiful lakes and streams. There are varied temperatures, and you can experience all four seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. And there's a lot of diversity in the ecosystem and the plants and the animals, and you can almost always see one roaming around in the neighborhood or in your yard. It's very safe and friendly for a family to raise children, and there are wide open living spaces with large yards, and there's a very small population relatively compared to cities and metropolitan areas, and this helps by leaving us with clean air, free of pollutants, and it's just overall more peaceful, and it's very beautiful to live in. So let's take a look at the air quality starting out. So this shaded region down here that you see is where Southwest Virginia is mostly located. You could also include that area to the left of it, which also includes some of the other counties that we build in. So if you look at the air quality in late summer and early fall, you see that in Southwest Virginia, the air quality is really good. The AQI index is about 32, which is really good. There's no health problems. There's very few particulates, and the tropospheric ozone is really low. As you start advancing into the late fall and the winter, the air pollution seems to be increasing, especially as you start seeing snow and rain coming in from the north and the Atlantic Ocean, and this increases the pollutants that can be carried in. And as people start burning coal and fuel for their own homes, obviously the pollutants from that are going to increase. As you go into winter, you can see the pollutants increase drastically, and the pollution seems to fluctuate. The weather is cool, the homes are heating up, snow scrapers and cars are traveling, so the fuel waste is put out in the air. However, because of the large amount of vegetation that we have here, this goes away very quickly. In spring and early summer, around this time of year, the trees and flowers start to bloom and the air quality improves, and as the weather gets warmer, the pollution decreases to very healthy levels in our region. So next, we can look at the energy source proposal. So currently we use coal in this region, and I propose that we use solar energy. So coal is non-renewable, solar energy is renewable. Coal is the most widely used. It's been used for millions of years, and it's mined and burned in plants and used for electricity to homes and businesses all throughout our region. However, solar energy, which uses the sun's light waves and heat on solar panels, is growing quickly across the entire United States and the world. It's a very readily available, and it can convert light to electricity in a very clean way. So the pros about coal are somewhat okay, but the cons outweigh it. Coal is cleaner, cheaper, or not cleaner, but cheaper, and it creates and it's very abundant, and it creates a lot of energy in a very small amount of time. However, it creates a lot of pollution. A lot of accidents are bound to happen. Very bad for the environment. Lots of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases. Not good. Pros for solar panels and solar energy: it's easily accessible, renewable. We're creating technology all the time, easily installable, very little pollution, doesn't destroy habitats, and you can even use it in a remote location such as Southwest Virginia. However, we'll have to make a big change. It might be costly at first, but it will be worthwhile in the long run, and it's somewhat unattractive. However, we can incorporate that into our building and make it look much better. And considering all the factors here and the costs for solar modules as they keep on decreasing, solar energy is the best method for us to use. And what about wind energy, you may ask? Well, wind energy is too unreliable. As you can see from the measurements that our company has taken, the wind is it fluctuates very easily. And so you can see we need about 13 to 15 kilometers per hour to consistently run a windmill. However, we can go anywhere from 0 to 16 and then go back down without even a second's thought. And so this is not a good way to run energy because it's just not dependable. And so solar energy itself can be very impactful in how it's uh, built and how it can be produced for our region. So it all starts with silicon, which is what you need. The sand is needed to produce silicon, and while silicon is it's a very good source. It can be dangerous for mining workers, and the furnaces can cause air pollutants. However, if you look at it comparatively, coal is creates pollution all the time, while solar panels create pollution only while they are being produced. Um, so then you take this silicon, you shape it into steel cylinders, you add boron. The boron must be found from deposits, which has to be coming from far away places like California. The silicon ingots are formed and then they are placed together. The wafers, which are the flat plates of solar panels, are produced. And then they combine that with a photovoltaic cell, and then they combine all of those to create a panel. And these cells actively use the energy of the sun to power a house, and that sharply reduces the need for coal. And basically, the way a solar panel works is it takes the energy from the sun, uses an inverter to convert it from DC to AC current, and then that current is directly used to power the house whenever needed, and whatever extra is left is used as credit straight into the main energy source for the region. And so it helps out the entire area as a whole. So the other impacts of solar energy, the trucks and industries, as they start increasing, if we build solar panels everywhere, will increase traffic, which might increase pollution. However, it'll help our economy, which might help us to build more solar panels and then decrease pollution in the long run. And at large, the solar panels need boron mining, silicon mining, and factory production, which has to come from faraway places for the most part until it can be built here. And the final product will help save the environment, but it will leave a minor carbon footprint while it's being produced. And the battery and the inverter of the solar panel, they release a leachate, which is not very good for the environment, but again, in the long run, it's much more beneficial to do it this way. So here's an example of a home that we have seen eco-friendly. So let's look at some things that we want to add to our own home. Solar panels, as I discussed, would be on top of the house, and the grid will be an integral part of that solar panel home. Another new technology is heat reflective roofing, or cool roofing as they call it in some places, and it reflects the sun's energy away from the roof, which cools it faster at nights and holds less heat for a shorter amount of time. This reduces energy costs and thermostat usage, and it will help to keep the temperature of your house in a steady range without having to use the thermostat to go up and down frequently. So the next thing is recycled insulation. So many old cotton things, such as jeans and newspapers, they can be converted into the raw materials for insulation, and this insulation actually lasts longer than regular insulation that we have right now in stores, and it's actually much cheaper. And if your house is ever torn down for any reason, it can be recycled, which is a great benefit for future people who want to build a home. The next thing is sustainable flooring. This flooring is great for the environment. It's built of things like bamboo, cork, and linoleum, and it lasts a long time, anywhere between 25 and 40 years, which is a great lifespan for a home like this. And it can be recycled once it's taken out also. The water preservation fixtures that we add will make a big difference because water is a main part of the environment. We can have low flow faucets, tankless water heaters, rainwater collection systems, underground collector systems, and these can conserve the fresh water that we have and use it for something else without having to reuse it for another purpose. And so this preserves the available supply that we have without wasting it. And then the runoff filter can be used in a rain garden or something without having to, again, reuse the water and find it separately for any usage. And then we can use Energy Star appliances for washers, dryers, stovetops, ovens, dishwashers, those kinds of things. And they reduce costs by mediating the air temperature absorption. They reduce bills. We can use LED lighting. And in the end, Energy Star products preserve the resources that we so desperately need. And then smart thermostats like the Nest thermostats, they're programmable and they're smart technology. So they adjust the temperature according to the time of day, the outdoor weather, the heat, the other factors. And they work efficiently with our HVAC system and to keep your house running for a long amount of time. This is our home diagram that we see on the outside, and you can see we've got an underground water tank, we've got a brick exterior to keep the temperatures in, you've got solar panels, you've got the reflective roofing, you've got a lot of greenery, and then out here you also have a indoor roof greenhouse area, which is great for planting and helping out the environment. And this is the indoor plan, and you can see we've got the garage, the recycled insulation, TV. We've got really high ceilings on this house. You've got your eco-friendly appliances, linoleum flooring, the thermostat, and this is really helpful when it comes to your house's floor plan. And so the water will drain downhill, which will be great. And in this region, because of the snow, the houses are required to be slanted, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's good because it's solar panel, but bad because it kind of takes up more space. But it'll be helpful, especially in this region. The rainwater collectors will be unseen, so they'll not take away from the beauty of the house, but they'll still be useful. And you'll decrease costs, and because of the large amount of windows that we'll have, you will not need as much excess artificial light. And so the local town hall meeting that we went to, they discussed creating an area for recreational purposes. They discussed other things also, but this was a thing that most applied to people who want to live here and who care about the environment. And so they wanted to create a landscaping area where kids could play, people could take care of the environment, those kinds of things. And so recreational grounds, they can be helpful for children, and they can include areas where local citizens can grow public gardening, and this can be places where they include plants, fruits, flowers, and vegetables of all kinds, and this is helpful to local wildlife, and it makes a great harvest in the fall. And it can even be used to help people in need if they need it, and it's a good place to teach children and families about the environment, and they will be an excellent place for everyone to gather in the town. And so here are some extra resources that you might want to question about what the ECO has: the Energy Star products, the green technology, energy efficiency, water saving, those kinds of things. You can look at it and find out more things if you need to. And here's the sources that I use for research. And thank you for using our company for your ECO house construction.